sell in private and all you do in public is just fucking get reach. Whereas when I first started, I would say I was heavy on balance and having the right amount of social proof to nurture the virality and the new followers and having a more methodical approach. But I don't really think that way at the moment, but that might change.
I want to add one thing that severely reduced my anxiety and I really enjoyed it, which was I came up with this kind of phrase: scarcity reduces anxiety. And the reason why I think scarcity reduces anxiety is because a lot of us, we're selling coaching or some sort of consulting. We have kind of unlimited supply. When I ask you, how many clients can you take? As many as your imagination can hold. That's usually the answer, right? Or a very high number. And I say that that is not true. You have a certain limit to how many clients you can take. And I say you should make that public. And I say that should be part of your marketing. As in, find out how much money you want to make in 1 or 2 years. Because if not, you're not going to do it for 1 or 2 years, then what's the fucking point anyway? And then you kind of backtrack from that. How many clients would I need to close every quarter or every month in order to get to that goal? You're going to arrive to a certain number after you do that math. We don't do math in this podcast. But after you get to that number, you say, well, maybe it's 3 a month. And I don't know if 3 is little to you or if it's a lot to you. But if you're at 0, you could still use that card as in your marketing. Hey guys, I'm capping my spots at 3 spots a month. And then you use that scarcity and you stick to it. You get 3 clients, great. The alternative was getting 0 anyway. But the trick here is you got to make it real. So let's say, I told my friend this. He's at 0 clients. And we were having lunch together. He's like, bro, what do I do? And I said, well, what if you cap how many clients you work with at 1? Because then the messaging changes. The way you approach the scarcity conversation changes. You could reach out to people and ask them, there's only 1 spot left. Are you still interested? Even if you're at 0, that still works. We capped our spots. And now we're getting more demand than when we had unlimited supply. Because when you have unlimited supply, people fuck around. When you have limited supply, people don't fuck around. So this is why I say that scarcity reduces anxiety. Because if you cap how many people work with you, you will be amazed at how different people respond. So if you're dealing with a lot of tire kickers, a lot of people who they just annoy you. You know, they make you bitter. They make you resentful. They make you not like people. Then maybe scarcity is a good card you can add to your offer stack. And I feel that reduced my anxiety by a lot. And you should try it if you'd like.
Yeah, I have 2 stories on this. So one, this past weekend, I was at my girlfriend Julia's retreat. And they had a retreat in Bali, private chef, all sorts of, guests and all these things, right? It was like it was like a spiritual / business retreat. It's like 8 people on it. And they're already planning the next one. And the people at the retreat were already trying to reserve the spots for the next retreat because they know there's like limited spots and they liked the size of it. And they're literally going to have to reserve half the tickets for the next retreat for new people. So it's not the same people every time. So if you want to talk about scarcity, that's like crazy scarcity. And it was interesting to see.
That's smart.
Yeah, it's interesting to see people already trying to get in on the next one. And they're already referring friends, and like the whole next retreat will probably be like repeat or referrals. Like they ain't even gonna have to market it. So that's at a smaller scale. And then for me in my business is I think I could probably take like 10 to 12 clients at once. I could probably only onboard like 2 or 3 a month just because the onboarding process is heavy and like you'll just be all over the place trying to onboard 4 or 5 people at once. But yeah, it's the same thing. And another thing that we do, and this is a interesting tactic, is like we only launch people on certain dates. So we make sure we tell potential clients like we're only launching people on these dates. So if you want to get in, you have to get in like pretty soon. If our onboarding process is gonna fall in the time so that we can launch you on that date. So it's an interesting kind of scarcity. That's not just like, no, we have 1 spot left, but it's like we're launching on these dates. If you wait, you will have to wait till this date. I'm not going to
right. That's right. Yeah. When you control the supply side, a lot of people focus on the demand side of the offer. Oh, this is going to be good. A lot of people focus on the demand side of the offer. How can I make the demand better? How can I get more demand? Whereas not many people focus on the supply side of the offer. Well, how many do I want to offer, and when does it cut off? Go.
Well, here's the beauty of it too, is like, you don't even have to fake it. Like, I actually can't onboard 4 people at once. Like, I can't. I actually launch people on a certain day because I need to for tracking purposes. Like, there are reasons for the scarcity, and it makes it so much easier to market because it's the truth, right? And this leads into my thing where I talk about treating our companies like Harvard, not public school, right? You can't just get in because you're a fucking coach, right? You have to actually apply, and we have to accept you. Same for you, right? So I'm curious how you've thought about this. Like, one thing that's reduced my anxiety in business is not working with people I fucking hate. I've worked with a lot of people that I didn't enjoy working with in the past, and it was just like, it made business hell. It made business really uncomfortable, and like, I would see their call on the calendar and just be like, I like don't want to take this. Like, I'd be paralyzed prior to the call. I'm like, whereas if it's a call with someone I like, I'm like checking KPIs. I'm like, what are we doing this week? What can we do for next week? If it's someone I hate, it's like, I don't even want to do this call. Like, never mind, do I want to prep for it? So it makes business just like so much easier when you treat it like Harvard.
I feel like that is an insight you earned, but you couldn't have said that a year ago because you would have taken anybody anyway. That is one of the insights you earned. And I feel like if you want to get to that spot, which I agree, it's awesome. Being able to say, somebody's like, hey, take my money, and you're like, I don't want to. Bro, it's awesome. I love it.
I've done it recently.
If you want to, you did?
Oh yeah, someone texted me and they were like, will you take such a client? I'm like, I don't work with your niche. Simple. It's just like, it's the truth. It's not a fucking lie. It's not like, I don't like you.
You just hit them with it. I have a boyfriend. With the cock block. You're just like,
I don't date.
Right.
I hit him with the I don't date lawyers. I don't date coworkers.
Good. That's solid. Now back to the point. It's like, if you want to get to that spot, the magic word, I guess it's a composite word, wait list, bro. Wait list. If you cap how many spots you have every month, and people ask you, can I still work with you? You say, no, you can't, because you got to stay true to the scarcity. If you lie, you're a piece of shit. You got to stay true to that. So you get to a certain point, and you cap your clients, and you say, no, but I can add you to the wait list. And when you add people to the wait list, then when the next spot opens up, then you can let them know before. And you're like, yo, I'm letting you know before I make this public. You have this many hours to act. Do you want in? That is the best anxiety pill ever, because then you can just play around with it. Even if you just take one client, bro. You just take one client at a time. And you're like, well, you just took one client, but one person wanted in. They don't know how many people are on the wait list. You can just say, I'll just add you to the wait list. It still shifts off it still is you working on the supply side of the offer instead of the demand side of the offer. And it's just so nice. Like, it reduces your anxiety by a lot. And do you have a wait list? Do you use it?
So we have a wait list, but it's very, it's almost like in the form of an extended sales process. Like for me is if I get someone that's a good lead, but they're not quite ready, I'll kind of put them through a little bit of a prep. So when in the military, it's funny, but before you go to basic training, if you're in the National Guard, you go to something called, what's it called? RSP, which is essentially where you go every month until your basic training day. You just prep for basic training. So I kind of do that with our prospects. I kind of just put them through stuff that they'll need to be able to work with us. And then it's like an extended sales process with follow-ups. And then when they're ready, they come on, and I don't really have to push it. So it's almost like instead of a wait list, it's like a prep course. It's pretty interesting.
Very nice, very nice. I like it, man.
Yeah,
I like it. It's
yeah.
I'm just gonna say it, man. I feel like this is episode 19. We're way better entrepreneurs than we were at episode 1. I feel that, and we're getting better, and I like that. I feel that, which is quite nice. Also, like, we're getting better at this podcast, I think, man. We have some fans, like, right now they're commenting. Thank you all. Like, everybody who's commenting. I want to greet them by name, but I don't know all of their names. I know Hector, you're watching this. Steven, you're watching this. So you guys are awesome. Thank you.
David.
And everyone else that I mentioned too.
David, John, Kendrick, I made all those names up, but those are common names. So I think you'll listen if you're listening and those are your names.
You know, Goku, you know,
fill in,
you're 69, you're awesome, bro. Fuck you.
If your name is John or David, and then please comment and fill the void of names that I'm gonna start doing that every pod. Just gonna name random names, and if it's you, you have to fill in the blank and now be the person who comments. Oh wait, new win was the guy who posted the pod outline with the AI. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
I love that. Do that again.
I know you're listening. That was cool. Yeah, somebody posted the thing. This podcast thing is fun, man. It also like gets me out of my. You know what I like about podcasts? It's when it has given me the freedom to show that I changed my mind a lot. And it has also prepped people to understand that, which in turn reduces kind of how serious people take my message, which seems like a bad thing, but it's also a good thing because they're less into the message and more into the people, into the messenger, which is exactly what I want.
You know what I feel like too is I feel like in the business space, sometimes it's lacking realism, and a lot of business podcasts are people talking at you, or just people talking and you're listening. But for us, it's like we're very much providing insights into our actual business lives and like mindset, and it becomes very realistic. Like we've gotten pretty deep on it in business philosophy a lot. And I feel like a lot of times that's missing because a lot of people who do podcasts are either just, they've turned into investors because they've already done something amazing. Whereas we're kind of almost like, I hate to say it, but we're kind of like building in public.
Oh, you're at the sir. Oh shit, bro. What? Do I need to take a picture of my fucking laptop at the beach? Now, do I just need to show some fake fucking humility now?
I've never.
That's just part of the deal.
I've never been more ashamed in my entire life.
No, it's okay, bro. You're in the arena. You're learning. That's fine. You'll be fine.
This podcast is bootstrapped. If anyone's listening and wondering why we're cringing, I just can't stand the whole like tech cookie cutter words. Bootstrapped.
Okay. Yeah, it's a far job, but not as far as the venture capitalist job. These are the guys that are really moving the world forward. Thank you for your sacrifice.
Wait, my favorite thing in business is that there's people that just raise money for a company that's never profitable and then exit before it's profitable and make a fuck ton of money anyway. I'm like, that is such a scam, but it's so funny because you can become so rich that way. You can just build a company that's break even for life, raise like 3 series rounds, and then just exit for like millions of dollars in equity. It's just insane to me. I'm like, they're probably missing one,
but sounds like a big scam. But also, how do I get in on that? Like
self-made entrepreneur.
Said location.
Yeah, self-made entrepreneur copes because Harvard business grad raises $1 billion.
Dude, yeah. Oh, by the way, I wanna talk about this before we end it. I do kind of digital services, right? But I've always wanted to do e-com. I'm like, man, I want to do e-com. The other day I was talking to this dude. He does e-com. He's like, bro, I'm fucking sick of e-com. I want to do what you do. I'm like, oh, interesting. The grass is always greener on the other side, right?
Right.
And talking to this other side, man, I want to do SaaS. And you talk to me, I'm like, fuck SaaS, man. It's like everybody's like just doing these different things. And it's like, if you're right now, you're wondering if you're in the right business model, in the right opportunity vehicle, same.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
I love the tweet that I think about it. Every time I get like shiny object syndrome, I think of the Mosey tweet where he's like, even if it's, I don't know if it was him or Becker, but it's like, even if there is a shiny new thing, and even if it is a slightly better vehicle, you're still going to do better and profit more if you just stick to the one you're on for longer than switching to a new one and being back at the beginning. So even if you're not in the right business model, you will succeed drastically more by just sticking to one thing. You know what I mean? I don't know, people don't know this, but this is my 4th agency. I've had 4 agencies.
Why? Really?
Yeah. My first agency was called Atriclus. It was an IT content marketing agency through LinkedIn. You can still see my first article to this day. I was in Ryan Booth's mentorship program in 2019. My second agency was Achilles Advertising. It was an Amazon pay-per-click advertising agency where I got one client and then shut it down. And my third agency was called The Culture Shift Copy, and it was a copywriting agency that I pretty much only got clients through Upwork, and then I switched to ghostwriting. I also graduated with a degree in marketing. Like, I've been in this fucking space absolutely eating shit and failing for so long. But if I had just stuck with the first one and followed Ryan's advice, where would I be? So stick to one thing and stop jumping to the next thing.